Okay, it's now 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Jen, if I can have you call roll.
Magistrate Humphrey.
Present.
Magistrate Coldiron.
Present.
Magistrate Riley.
Present.
Judge Chuck Dills.
Present. Need approval of the regular meeting minutes of March 7th, 2023.
Having
Make a
read
motion to
the,
go right ahead. I'll second it then.
having read the minutes of March 21, 2023, I propose that we approve as presented.
I'll second. It's March the 7th, the meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
minutes
I
from
looked at-
March the 7th.
yeah. Yeah, today is March 21st, huh?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion made by Magistrate Coldiron and second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to fiscal court matters. Item A, approval of the claims on the general fund, road fund, jail fund, along with all transfers presented dated March 21st, 2023.
Having reviewed all of the claims on the general fund, road fund, jail fund, along with all transfers presented dated March 21st, 2023, I make a motion we approve as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Coldiron and second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. Appears we have Tabitha Clemens, our county clerk, with us. So item B is the Grant County Clerk, Tabitha Clemens, final settlement of excess fees for 2022.
Good evening. Colton has a brief presentation, if he doesn't mind to put that up for us and share it on the screen. I'll talk through some of that and give you a little snapshot of what we did in 2022.
Tabitha, give me one moment.
Sure.
Can y'all see it?
Yes.
Yes.
You can go on and go to slide 2, Colton. So I always like to give you an idea of how many people we have in the county clerk's office working. So in 2022, we had a total of 8 people. It was early in 2022 that Chuck came and asked if Jenna would like to join you all, which you got a really great one. I lost out on that one, but it's okay. It was good for Jenna, so I'm excited for her still. But that landscape's changed a little bit in my office already in the early part of 2023 with the loss of my deputy David Wessel. So we are currently hiring and starting the interview process. We started that at the end of last week. So just to give you an idea, it was 8 full-time people last year. We did not have any college interns or part-time interns last year. However, going into this summer, we are going to have a high school co-op from Grant County High School. We had a student who reached out to us. We've already interviewed her, and we'll start that process to have her complete her co-op year with us in the office. So you can go on to slide 3. This is the transactions that we completed each year since I've been in office since 2015. It kind of gives you a rundown of all the transactions that we do. The part about the transactions, the year-to-year comparison, we definitely saw a decrease in deeds last year. A couple hundred difference in the deeds that we processed. So less property was moving. That's probably due mostly to the feds increasing the interest rate after almost every meeting they had last year. Then mortgages, they go hand in hand, deeds and mortgages. So those were also on the decline last year. And I told you guys in 2020, 2021, the reason we saw such a bump in those numbers was because of all the refinances, because interest rates being so low. So we now do expect to see those numbers decline because interest rates have grown at such a high rate in a relatively short period of time. Marriage license is on par with our average, 172. Title lien statements did decrease a little bit as well. With all the issues that have been happening in the car market place, I think that's why we're seeing that decrease between the chips not being purchased and then used cars rates being so high and then interest rates turning around being higher. I think we're going to see that decline even more in 2023. So you can go to the next slide. This is the slide that, of course, you're probably most interested in because it has the amount of excess fees turned over. We knew that number would be less. We had talked about that last year somewhat about, we didn't know how much less, but we knew that it was going to be less. Shauna, you and I had talked sometime in December, and I thought that we would be closer to $100,000. Then where we are, we're almost at 80,000, but we had a couple of refunds come from the Department of Revenue towards the last 2 weeks of December that really changed the outlook of making that six-figure mark. They had discovered that they had someone who had not been completing the refunds for quite some time in that department, and we got kind of bombarded at the end of the year with unexpected refunds that we were not expecting to hit our coffers. So that definitely caused us to have a decrease there. But we did already turn a check over to the treasurer for $79,084.07. The one thing that I'm still encouraged by out of this budget is that we did hit the 11 million mark. From the time that I took office, we were in $6 million range. We've grown that over $5 million in less than 8 years. So I'm really proud of the work that we've been able to accomplish in the office. And a lot of that has to do with our local dealers. If our local dealers didn't bring us their work from selling their cars in Grant County, we get a lot of that work. And we also do a lot of customer outreach to dealerships that are in Northern Kentucky and in Central Kentucky by reminding them that they can send, if somebody in Grant County goes to that dealership out of county, they can send that work to us. So that's really important to us to get that work. In the 8 years that I've been county clerk, we've turned over $675,863.72 in excess fees to the fiscal court in the 8 years. So the next slide, Colton, is a hidden slide, or no, it's not. These are just notable increases and decreases. Retirement was the thing that we saw go up the most from 2021 to 2022. It went up about $6,000. Social Security went down a little bit for us, and insurance also went down a little bit for us. I think that's due to some of the folks that I have on staff not taking certain plans and having single plans and things like that. So overall, it's still a good savings from where we were back when we were on the county plan. We're on the state plan. So the next slide, Colton, is going to be number 8. Or number six, I'm sorry. So the fiscal court revenue that we've collected, I was really, really hoping that I was going to be able to say that we have collected $3 million in tax revenue for the county this year, and we missed it by just a smidge. So we had ad valorem taxes come in just over 300,000. Deed transfer tax was up just a little bit from all the other years, but notably up from 21 at 129,000 and some change. Delinquent property taxes, we were right on par. We were $4 and some change shy of where we were last year. And I know that County Attorney Bates is on the line, but a lot of the reason that we've seen that number decrease is because of the outreach that he does prior to the tax bill sale. We have a lot more property owners paying their delinquent tax prior to the sale and prior to the bills coming to the county clerk's office because they recognize that their bill will be sold. So appreciate his work on that. So you can see those numbers there on the amounts that we brought in, but we're definitely, we're already over that $3 million mark with the money that I've turned in from January and February to the fiscal court. So next year, I'll be able to tell you that I've collected over 3 million for you. All right, now you can hop to slide 8, Colton. I've been saying that for a while. We're not going to do that. Yeah, there you go. So just some office needs that we covered in the past. And I know Chuck has been diligent and working on some of these things for us, and we're really appreciative of that. We appreciate the willingness of the court to include us, our office, in the cleaning bid that was put out earlier this year. That was really helpful to us. So I know that he's been working on getting the concrete and the railing fixed on the north entrance of the office. And I'll just say that we get so many compliments. We have more people come in our office than I think come in most of our county offices. And we hear all the time about how wonderful the front of the courthouse looks. So I definitely want to say thank you to all of you on that, because we hear compliments from people every day on how the front of the courthouse looks now. Downstairs, there's still some tile issues in the restrooms. The lighting issue, this is something that Tony and George have been working on, but I keep it on here because it's an ongoing process. It's been happening for multiple years. As we have lights go out, they replace them with the LED fixtures, which is really appreciated. Chuck and I've talked at length about changing stations, but just haven't been able to decide on which one's going to be the most suitable for the space that we have in the restrooms. And then I know that he's reached out to a couple different awning companies, but during the times that we've reached out, they've been so busy that they haven't been able to come in and give us quotes. So just some things that I wanted to leave on the list so that we wouldn't forget about them. The next slide, Colton, is going to be about elections. Election funding. So the electronic poll book purchase that we had talked about a few meetings back is complete. We're waiting for our shipping date, but the grant funding, I believe, has already been secured and sent to the fiscal court. We just received last week that we are eligible and qualify to receive $146,307.42 in additional grant money. That will be awarded as soon as we complete that application. Part of that is on your agenda tonight to have a resolution adopted. And then additionally, we're purchasing the poll slip scanners to streamline the process of printing the ballot. What that device does is that it will scan the slip that comes out of the poll pad instead of the clerk at the election, at our election officers position, was writing this down on a little slips of paper and sliding them down to the printer. That's not necessary anymore. There'll be a scanner that will scan the barcode that prints out of the poll book, and it will automatically begin the printing process. So not only does it make the service a little bit easier and streamlined for the poll worker, that they don't select the wrong ballot, because there's a lot of ballots on some election years. It automatically starts printing, which saves time for everybody, the voter included. So that's all that I have. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight. So.
Tabitha, thanks for covering that with the court. Very informative. Does anyone have any questions?
I do, Chuck. On
Okay.
the $146,000 of grant money, now will that end up paying for all of our equipment now?
It's not going to quite cover all of it, Shauna. There is a little bit remaining, but we're reporting that to the State Board of Elections so that if there is any left in the pot, our county would possibly qualify for another cycle. But it's pretty close. Peggy and I sat down and went over those numbers yesterday, and it was a lot closer than what I thought. And off the top of my head, I don't recall, and I don't have that with me, but I can certainly email you the exact figures
Yes,
and get those to you. Yeah, and honestly, the 146 was a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. The initial conversations that I was involved with the State Board of Elections staff and the Department for Local Government. I thought we were probably going to be closer to about $95,000 in reimbursement. So when they figured this out, there was a lot of counties who came in under budget for the electronic poll books, which put about $2.5 million more in the pot. So it made it about 14.5 million that we had to pull from. And then they divided that equally based off of the number of voters in each county.
Okay.
So the number of voters is what determined. It wasn't the number of locations or the precinct number or anything like that. It was the number of voters we had in the county. And that's how they put a figure to that. And that's how we ended up with 146. So I'm pretty happy that we're going to get that, and that they're going to let us go back and get the reimbursement for the equipment that we had already purchased. It's not that we have to purchase more equipment moving forward. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we had purchased prior to this money being available.
Okay. All right. If you'll just send me, you
Sure.
know, what
Yep,
the
I'll get-
amount shot.
I'll get those invoices together in the morning and send over the whole picture, and I'll send that out to the whole court.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tabitha. Need a motion to, on item B for the final settlement of excess fees for 2022. Motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the excess fees presented by the Grant County Clerk for the fees of 2022 as the final settlement.
I will second.
Okay. Have a motion made by Magistrate Kodar and a second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item C, which has to do with our county clerk, Tabitha Clemens. This is on the approval of resolution 2023-04, House Bill 1, County Clerk Election Equipment, Grant County Fiscal Year 2022 to 2024. You all have that resolution with you, and that's what we just was speaking about on her final settlement. I won't read the resolution if all of you's looked at it, but I'll just go over again. House Bill 1, County Clerk Election Equipment Grant, and the grant is for $146,307.42.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2023-04, House Bill 1, the county clerk election equipment for Grant County fiscal year of 2022 through 2024.
I second.
Have a motion made by Magistrate Humphrey, second by Magistrate Konar. All in favor by show of hands. Nobody's not going to approve $146,000?
Oh, I
Oh, we did.
We all did.
No, I said, I would assume everyone was going to approve that one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got my
Okay,
attention.
going down to item D. This is for approval of resolution 2023-05 to discontinue a portion of county road known as Delaney Road. And I know all of you's been a part of it, especially Jacqueline and her district. This is the section on Delaney Road that the new bypass area was put in, and we're closing down what the state has already actually closed down. It's on the north and south section of Delaney crossing the railroad tracks. Most of those roadways have already been removed by the state and sown in grass. But by statute, after confined with our county attorney, we're going to still need to go through the process of closing it like it's a active road, but none of it's active on the short portions we're closing down. If you can read over and read the resolution without reading it in its entirety, it's approximately 575 feet on one location and approximately 1,075 feet on the other location. Does anyone have any questions before I ask for a motion to approve the resolution? Or
Chuck, I'm sorry. Is there a typographical error? It shouldn't be. The total is 1,075
okay, I'm
feet.
sorry,
Yeah.
1,075 feet total.
Yeah. Right. It's two different portions
Segments. Yeah.
totaling 1,075 feet.
Yes. Yeah, it's 575 feet on the one end and then
500 feet
approximately
on the other.
500 feet on the other.
Okay.
I make a motion this evening on resolution 2023-05 for the discontinuation of those two segments of Delaney Road as a result of the new intersection that's been installed by the state.
I'll second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by show of hands. Here's all in favor, motion carries. Item E, which is a part of this resolution and part of the statute, I need a motion to appoint Chris Monholland and Steve Moreline to assist the road supervisor, Steve Tatum, as county road viewers for Delaney Road pursuant to KRS 178.070. And if you all remember from the one and only other portion of road at an owner's request that we closed, basically they'll go out with Steve Tatum, review the situation, that it doesn't affect anyone, which obviously in this case, this is a unique situation where it's not affecting anyone. They've got a new road going and we're just closing out and cleaning up the section that was the old county road. So they will come back, meet with county attorney, and there will be a report prepared. And then once that report's prepared, we'll have it at a meeting with an open hearing. Is that correct, Stephen? Or if you want to cover a little bit more detailed than what I just said?
No, I mean, that's in essence what it is. They'll go out, do their viewing. There'll be a report that'll be submitted, and then we'll have a hearing, a public hearing, at which point someone, or anyone, I should say, who's interested could come and speak at the meeting. Otherwise, once they make their report, which I anticipate will probably say that there's no negative impact to any property owners because of the location of those two sections. I can't really fathom a way how it could not be that, but at any rate, so they'll have a public hearing at that point. Then the fiscal court can make an order or pass an ordinance closing those two sections.
And that's scheduled for our next court meeting, which will be April 4th is the date that and we've already sent the advertisement to the paper. Okay, I need a motion to approve these two appointments for viewers of the Delaney Road.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley, second by Magistrate Humphrey. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item F, need approval of payment for House Bill 810 incentive training for Brian Maines. You all have the letter in your packet from Department of Local Government.
Make a motion to approve Sheriff Mains's House Bill 810 training money as presented.
A second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Codar. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. Moving down to item G, I need a motion to reappoint Chaz Surratt as the seasonal park laborer, retroactive March 13th, 2023. Chaz worked for Kerry at the parks last season, done an excellent job, and thankful that he's willing to come back and help us again this season.
I make a motion to reappoint Chaz Surratt, seasonal parks laborer, retroactive to March the 13th, 2023.
I will second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Codar, second by Magistrate Riley. All in favor by show of hands. Appears all in favor, motion carries. And as we know, the mowing season is starting to ramp up. So
Is upon us.
yes. It doesn't appear the court has any old business or new business to report on. Moving down to reports on judge's report. I currently don't have anything to report on this meeting. I'll do it in our in-person meeting, next meeting, on any updates. Magistrate Riley, you have anything?
No, sir.
Magistrate Humphrey?
No, sir.
Okay, Magistrate Kodar?
No, sir.
Okay. That being said, we'll move down to item 8. If anyone that's joined us, if Dave or anyone else, I don't know if anyone else is on, has any remarks, comments for the court tonight. If not, we'll move down to item 9. And I just want to remind the court that our next meeting of the body will be held Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. And the meeting will be held in the Grant County courtroom at 4:30 p.m. I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I second.
I have a motion made by Magistrate Riley, a second by Magistrate Kodar. All in favor by show of hands? It appears all in favor. Motion carries. We're now adjourned. Thank you all.
Okay, good night, everyone.
Have a
Good
good